Welcome to The Real History 101. In today's video, we're exploring the most important philosophers in history, whose ideas have shaped human thought, science, ethics, and politics. We're not just talking about dusty old books. These are the minds that grappled with the biggest questions we face as a species. From the nature of reality to the meaning of life, these thinkers laid the foundations for how we understand the universe and our place in it. So buckle up, because we're about to take a wild ride through intellectual history, exploring the lives, ideas, and lasting impact of these philosophical giants. Let's jump right in. Our journey begins in the bustling city-state of Athens, the cradle of democracy and birthplace of Western philosophy. And who better to embody the Athenian spirit of inquiry than Socrates? Picture this. A man, barefoot and unassuming, walking the streets of Athens, engaging anyone and everyone in conversation. No ivory towers for Socrates, he brought philosophy to the streets, challenging people's beliefs and forcing them to examine their own assumptions. Now, Socrates was a bit of an enigma. He didn't write anything down, so we learn about him through the writings of his students like Plato. But what we do know is that his method of questioning, known as the Socratic method, revolutionized the way we think. Imagine being grilled by Socrates. He'd ask you a series of seemingly simple questions, leading you down a path of logic and reason, ultimately exposing the flaws in your own thinking. Annoying? Maybe. Effective? Absolutely. Socrates believed that the unexamined life was not worth living, and his relentless pursuit of truth ultimately led to his trial and execution for corrupting the youth of Athens. Talk about going out for your beliefs, right? But even in death, Socrates became a martyr for free thought, his legacy inspiring generations of philosophers to come. Next up, we have Plato, Socrates' most famous student. While Socrates was all about asking questions, Plato gave us some answers, or at least some compelling theories to grapple with. Plato was troubled by the ephemeral nature of the physical world. Everything changes, decays, and disappears eventually. So, he wondered, how can we find true knowledge in a world that's constantly in flux? His answer? The world of forms. Imagine a realm beyond our senses where perfect eternal concepts reside, things like beauty, justice, and truth. This, according to Plato, is the ultimate reality, while the physical world is just a pale imitation. Think of it like this: you see a beautiful sunset. That sunset is fleeting, temporary, but the concept of beauty itself, that's eternal, unchanging, and exists in the world of forms. Plato explored these ideas in his famous dialogues, featuring his old pal Socrates as the main character. These dialogues weren't just philosophical treatises, they were literary masterpieces, exploring everything from politics and ethics to love and the nature of reality. And let's not forget, Plato was also a founding father of academia. He established the Academy, a center of learning that attracted some of the brightest minds of the ancient world. Talk about a legacy. Now, let's travel across continents and millennia to ancient China, where another philosophical giant was making waves: Confucius. While Socrates and Plato were busy debating the nature of reality in the West, Confucius was focused on something a bit different: social harmony. See, China at the time was a bit of a mess: warring states, political corruption, you name it. Confucius believed that the solution lay not in abstract philosophical concepts, but in cultivating virtue and ethical behavior in individuals and by extension society as a whole. For Confucius, it all boiled down to 5 key relationships: ruler and subject, father and son, husband and wife, elder brother and younger brother, and friend and friend. By establishing clear roles and responsibilities within these relationships, based on mutual respect and benevolence, Confucius believed that order and harmony could be restored. His teachings, collected in the Annals, became the bedrock of Chinese culture and governance for centuries. Imagine a philosophy so powerful that it shaped the moral compass of an entire civilization for over 2,000 years. That's Confucius for you. And even today, his ideas continue to resonate, offering timeless wisdom on how to live a virtuous life and build a just society. Fast forward to the Enlightenment, a period of radical intellectual upheaval in Europe. At the forefront was Immanuel Kant, challenging the foundations of knowledge. Kant spent his life in Königsberg, Prussia. His mind roamed the cosmos, tackling big philosophical questions. Kant bridged rationalism and empiricism. He argued both reason and experience shape our understanding. Kant revolutionized ethics with his categorical imperative: act only according to rules you could universalize. Kant's ideas were a game changer. He redefined human knowledge and ethical decision-making. And finally, we arrive at Friedrich Nietzsche, the philosophical rebel who dared to challenge everything. Imagine this, a man, brilliant but troubled, wandering the Swiss Alps, grappling with the meaninglessness of existence. That was Nietzsche. He saw the traditional values of religion, morality, and even reason itself as shackles on the human spirit. Nietzsche famously declared, "God is dead," not as a theological statement, but as a recognition that the old order had crumbled, leaving a void in its wake. So, what fills that void? Nietzsche's answer, the will to power, the fundamental drive that animates all living things, urging us to strive, create, and overcome. But Nietzsche wasn't just about tearing things down. He envisioned a new kind of human being, the Übermensch or Overman, who would transcend the limitations of conventional morality and forge their own values based on strength, creativity, and a passionate embrace of life in all its messy glory. Nietzsche's ideas were controversial, to say the least. He was accused of nihilism, elitism, even proto-fascism. But love him or hate him, there's no denying his impact. His critiques of modernity, his insights into the human psyche, and his celebration of individual self-creation continue to provoke, inspire, and challenge us to this day. These philosophers, from ancient Greece to modern Europe, shaped the way we think about existence, ethics, and society. Their ideas, born from different times and cultures, still resonate with us today, offering insights into the human condition and the fundamental questions that continue to fascinate and challenge us. Which philosopher do you find most intriguing? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more fascinating explorations into history and ideas. Thanks for watching and see you next time.